Hey guys, last time we read, Fudge had his friend Daniel over who's kind of picky, and they were trying to eat lunch and talking about Fudge's commercial he was in. On the same day that Daniel was eating his tuna fish sandwiches without onions, peas, lima beans, or crust, Tootsie learned to crawl. One minute she was just rocking back and forth on all fours, and the next minute she was moving across the floor. Mom ran to get Dad, and he raced upstairs for the camera. And for the rest of the day, we took home movies. Tootsie was the star. Only Daniel was unimpressed. All babies crawl, he said. After a week of crawling, Tootsie became an expert. She could move so fast it was hard to keep up with her. Not only that, but she learned to pull herself up to a standing position. She couldn't leave anything around. You couldn't leave anything around anymore. Whatever she found went straight into her mouth. And she found everything from crayons to spools of thread, from Lego bricks to Dad's notebook. She chewed up 3 pages of his notes one afternoon, and it took Dad all night to try to glue them back together. Mom and Dad decided to baby-proof the house. They removed everything that Tootsie could possibly reach. Tootsie was very pleased with herself. She said, "Oga bafa fum." Turtle learned to crawl too. He moved across the floor flat on his belly, and Tootsie would chase him, laughing. Turtle and Tootsie were friends. I kept the door to my room closed at all times. I wasn't taking any chances. Dad put up a gate at the top of the stairs and another at the bottom. You had to be careful not to step on Tootsie. She was almost always underfoot. Put her in her playpen, Fudge wailed one day after she got into his Legos and scattered them. She needs the freedom to explore, Dad explained. Well, too bad if she gets in my way, Fudge said. She'll just have to learn that I'm bigger than her. And clunk, he stepped on her arm and Tootsie screamed. On the following Saturday, Jimmy Fargo came to visit. Wow, I can't believe how much the baby's grown, he said when he saw Tootsie racing across the living room floor. When you moved, she was about the same size as my cat, and now she's like a regular baby. Puta, puta, Tootsie said, pulling herself up on my legs. What's she saying? Jimmy asked. Nothing, just baby talk, I told him. Jimmy was even more impressed with Uncle Feather than Tootsie. Wow, that's some bird, Jimmy said. He speaks French. Say bonjour, I told Jimmy. Bonjour, birdie, Jimmy said. Bonjour, stupid, Uncle Feather answered. I laughed, but Jimmy didn't. Hey, turkey brain, my name's Jimmy. Can you say that? Jimmy. Say that, say that. No, Dumbo, it's Jimmy. Dumbo Jimmy, Dumbo Jimmy. No, it's just plain Jimmy. Plain Jimmy, plain Jimmy. I give up, you turkey brain. Turkey, turkey, Jimmy turkey. Stop it, Jimmy shouted. Stop it, stop it. I quit. Quit, quit, quit. Jimmy finally laughed. Some bird. Alex came over to meet Jimmy. He said, "So, you're the great Jimmy Fargo." Who said I was great? Jimmy asked. Well, the way Peter's always talking about you. Yeah, well, the way he's always talking about you, I figured you must be the great Alex Santo. I am, Alex said. Well then, I am the great Jimmy Fargo. After that, it was downhill all the way. It's hard to be caught in the middle between your two best friends. I think Mom knew I was having a hard time because she said, "How would you little boys like to go to the movies this afternoon?" What's playing? Jimmy asked. Superman, Mom said. I already saw it, said Jimmy. So did I said, but I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I saw it twice, Jimmy said. I never even saw it once, Alex said. It was better the second time, Jimmy said. And I'll bet it will still be better the third time, Mom said. Okay, Jimmy said, I'll go. He bent down to tie his shoelaces. Mom said, wonderful. The 3 of you can take Fudge and Daniel. I had a quick conference with Alex and Jimmy. I don't care if Fudge comes with us, as long as I don't have to sit next to him, Jimmy said. Same for me, Alex said. I don't want to sit next to the other one either. The other one is a nerd. Same for me, Jimmy said. I went back to Mom. Okay, we'll take them, but we won't sit next to them. That's reasonable, Mom said. It's a deal, I told Alex and Jimmy. We walked into town. We were too early to buy tickets, so we showed Jimmy his father's painting in the window of the gallery. I dressed up as Anita's anger for Halloween, Alex said. My costume was outstanding, if I do say so myself. You don't think you're great too, do you? Jimmy said. I'm just telling the truth, Alex said. I can't believe this guy, Jimmy whispered to me. He's usually not like this, I whispered back. I never should have gotten the two of them together, I thought. They really couldn't stand each other, and they were making me miserable. Hey, let's go and introduce Jimmy to Beverly, I said, trying to sound cheerful. Beverly greeted us. Well, if it isn't Alex, Peter, and Fudge. And Daniel Mannheim, Daniel said. I'm 6. I live at 432 Vine. Glad to meet you, Daniel, Beverly said. And this is Jimmy Fargo, I told Beverly. You know, Fargo. Frank's son, Beverly asked. That's right. I just love your father's paintings, Beverly said. They're so original. He's working on a new one, Jimmy said. It's called Salamis on Parade. Sounds fascinating, Beverly said. My father likes salami, Jimmy said. Salami and onion sandwiches are his favorite. I don't eat anything with onions, Daniel said. We know, I said. Salami and onions, Jimmy said. My father could just about live on salami and onions. Beverly laughed. I bet he doesn't do much kissing. That's right, Jimmy said. My mother's the one who likes kissing. That's why she moved to Vermont. Well, Beverly said, I certainly would like to meet your father someday. Maybe we can arrange that, I said, thinking that Beverly and Mr. Fargo might really like each other. And Jimmy must have been thinking the same thing, because he said, he doesn't eat salami and onions every day. On Sundays, he likes lox and eggs. I don't eat anything with onions or lima beans or peas, Daniel said. I hate the crust on my bread, and I only drink chocolate milk. You're a fussy eater, Beverly said. That's right, Daniel said. You want to make something of it? No, Beverly said. I certainly don't. We have to go now, I said. We're going to see Superman. Have a great time, Beverly called. I wondered if anybody ever went into the gallery besides us. I'd never seen a customer in there. Outside, a line had formed in front of the movie. As we were walking to the end of it, I spotted Joanne McFadden. She was with Sharon, who's always looking at the ground or the sky, and Elaine, who likes to punch guys in the stomach. I guess Joanne spotted me too, because she called Peter and waved me over to her. Give me your money and I'll buy your ticket, she said. That way you don't have to stand at the end of the line. Mom had given me enough to treat Alex, Jimmy, and Daniel, so I passed the bill to Joanne and stood right behind her. When the wind blew, her hair hit my face, and I didn't move, even though it tickled my nose. Well, Elaine said, after we had our tickets, aren't you going to introduce him to us? She nodded in Jimmy's direction. Oh, sure. Jimmy, meet Elaine, Sharon, and Joanne. Jimmy looked at Sharon for a long time. Sharon looked at the sky. I'm Daniel Mannheim, the little creep said. I'm 6 and I live at 432 Vine Street. That's nice, Elaine said. And who are you? She asked Fudge. Fudge Hatcher. Your little brother? Joanne asked me. Uh-huh. I never knew you had an adorable little brother. Joanne had never said so many words to me at once. Fudge smiled. Adorable, that's me. And I'm Daniel Mannheim. I'm 6. We know, Elaine said. You want to make something of it? Daniel asked in his best tough guy voice. Yeah, Elaine said. Put him up. She made 2 fists and held them to Daniel's nose. Daniel started to cry. Don't hit me. Please, don't hit me. I'm only 6. He covered his face with his hands. I'm not going to hit you, you doof, Elaine said. I only hit guys my own age. Right, Alex? And with that, she belted Alex in the gut. Cut it out, you. Alex shouted a lot of good words at Elaine. Daniel jumped up and down singing. He said the A word. He said the A word. Shut up, Elaine said to Daniel, or I will slug you. You promised you wouldn't, Daniel whined. And I'm only 6, remember? Why don't you... Oh, cut it out, Sharon said, looking at the ground. We went inside and stopped at the candy counter to buy popcorn and Cokes. We found our seats for the kindergarten babies and got them settled, and crossed over to the other side of the theater, where we found an empty row for the 6 of us. Alex went first, then Jimmy, then me, then Joanne, Sharon, and Elaine. I wondered if Joanne had planned to sit next to me the same way I'd planned to sit next to her. When the picture started, Joanne offered me some of her popcorn, and when I reached into the carton, our fingers touched. Then I offered her some of mine, so our fingers touched again. By that time, my fingers were covered with grease, but who cared? I just began to relax, concentrating more on sitting next to Joanne than on the movie. But maybe that was because I already seen it. Then, right when Superman was about to kiss Lois Lane, I felt something icy cold slither down my back, and I let out a yelp. Fudge was hanging over the back of my seat with a handful of ice cubes from his coat. "Hi, Peta. You little..." But there was no way I could catch him. He was already racing up the aisle. "Here," Joanne said, handing me a Kleenex. "Could you do it?" I asked. "I don't think I can reach all the way around my back." Joanne mopped off my neck and then my back. And when she was finished, she put her hand close to mine, and the next thing I knew, we were holding hands. Hers were soft but cold. When the movie ended, Joanne, Elaine, and Sharon walked home in one direction, and we walked home in another. "So what's it like to be in love?" Alex asked me. "What are you talking about?" I said. "What are you talking about?" Alex mimicked. And Jimmy said, "So when's the wedding?" "Cut it out, will you?" I said. By the time we got home, Alex and Jimmy were talking and laughing as if they'd been best friends for 100 years, and I felt left out. Dad had cooked a big pot of spaghetti, and Daniel was still eyeing it until Mom told him how many onions had gone into the sauce. Not only that, but Mom had fixed a bowl of peas as a side dish. And that was funny because we never have anything with spaghetti but bread and salad. "I don't eat anything with onions, and I don't eat peas either," Daniel said. "What else do you have?" "Nothing," Mom told him. "Then I guess I'll go home for supper," Daniel said. I thought I saw Mom smile. After supper, Alex went to get his sleeping bag, and he and Jimmy both slept on the floor in my room. I wondered why I didn't feel better about the two of them being friends. Just because they liked each other didn't mean they didn't like me. But I had a hard time convincing myself. For the next week, Fudge walked around talking to himself. To most people, he is Fudge Hatcher, a regular boy. Only his trusty Mina Bird and his friend Daniel know the truth. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive. "Do you remember when I was born?" he asked. He asked me one morning. "Yes." "Did I really grow inside Mommy's tummy?" "Yes." "Oh." He sounded disappointed. "Why?" "Because if I grow inside of Mommy, then I can't be from another planet." "Take it from me," I said. "You're definitely from Earth." A few days later, Daniel told Fudge that he had been adopted as a baby, so Daniel might be from another planet, Fudge said. "Yeah," I thought, "that would explain a lot. And maybe he might be able to fly." "Don't count on it," I said. "Daniel was my best friend," Fudge said. "If it turns out he's from another planet, he's going to take me there to visit." "Swell," I told him. "Don't hurry back." "You're just jealous because you don't have a friend who can fly." "I don't even have a friend from another planet," I said. "Too bad for you, Peta." And he took off, flapping his arms and calling, "It's a bird, it's a plane." Hey, chapter 10 is called Santa Who. My father signed up for the 10 Chinese cooking lessons. He bought a wok, which is a big round pot, and 4 cookbooks. Most nights he would sit in front of the fire reading. "When you finish writing your book, maybe you can open a Chinese restaurant," I suggested. "I don't want to open a restaurant," Dad said, thumbing through the A to Z of Chinese cookery. I just mentioned that because Jimmy Fargo's father used to be an actor, and now he's a painter. So I thought maybe you were going from advertising to writing to cooking. "No," Dad answered. "Cooking will be a hobby for me, not a profession." "Oh," I said. Then I added, "I like to know what's going on, and sometimes you forget to tell me." "Nothing's going on," Dad said. He flipped through a couple of pages and then turned to Mom. "What do you think about making this for tomorrow night? Stir-fried chicken and green onions, mushrooms, water chestnuts, and a touch of ginger." "Sounds good to me," Mom said. "Cocoa and animal crackers sound good to me," Fudge said. He'd been very quiet tonight, stretched out on the floor with a pad of paper and a fat green crayon. Anyone else for cocoa and animal crackers?" Mom asked, getting out of her favorite chair and yawning. "Me," I called. "Make it unanimous," Dad said. "What's unanimous?" Fudge asked. "It's when everyone agrees," I explained. "Everyone agrees," Fudge repeated. "That's nice. I like it when everyone agrees." "What are you so busy drawing?" I said. "I'm not drawing, I'm writing." "What are you writing?" "A letter to Santa." "Isn't it a little early?" I asked, "since we're still eating leftover turkey from Thanksgiving?" "It's never too early," Fudge said. "Where'd you hear that one?" I asked. "From Grandma," he said. "I thought so." That makes it unanimous, Fudge said. Hey, Dad, I said. I wish you'd think twice before you use your big words in front of him. Now he's messing up another one. Messing, Fudge babbled. Okay, I'm going to stop there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.